Coming to Grand Rapids, Michigan on September 21st and 22nd is GrandCon Gaming and Comics Convention, presented by Celebration Cinemas. Join us in playing or chatting it up with fellow enthusiasts in a community that understands your passions. Get lost in the adventure of your favorite role-playing game. Admire costumes and art from vendors and attendees. Meet the creators behind your favorite mainstream and independent games and comic books. Check out unpublished games and sneak peek at things to come. You can get all this and more at GrandCon. For more information, please visit www.grand-con.com.
Hey, paisanos! It's the Super Mario Brothers Super Show!
With the Mario Brothers and plumbing's our game. We're not like the others who get all the fame. If your sink is in trouble, you can call us on the double. We're faster than the others, you'll be hooked on the brothers. Hooked on the brothers. Yo, you're in for a treat, so hang on to your seat. Get ready for adventure and remarkable feats. You'll meet Koopas and Troopas, the princess and the others. Hanging with the plumbers, you'll be hooked on the brothers. To the
Hello and welcome to Pixels in the Animation. This is our second episode. I am one of your hosts, Steve, Jim, and Mike, and joining me in this journey through video game land that'll come up way later in this podcast is TV's Mr. Neil.
Peace, love, recycle.
Yeah, no. No. Today we're going to be continuing the Super Mario Bros. Super Show reviews as we talk about the next 6 episodes of Super Show. Wow. We're only 2 episodes into this podcast and I'm like, yeah, I loved it as a kid, but analyzing it as an adult is just agonizing. I don't know. I just don't know. Any thoughts you want to impart?
Oh man, I don't know. I don't know if I'd rather be watching this or watching like the Ron Jeremy Super Pornio Brothers. At least that would be shorter.
Yeah.
The live action segments are good for the most part, except for a couple episodes.
Yeah, except for another episode which will come up today, and I just this show must have not have had a budget. And not counting, I'm not talking about the animation. I'm talking about the live action part of the show must have had like 0 budget, or the budget went to all of the guest stars.
Yeah,
because
they had a shit ton of guest stars. And actually, I have the opposite impression. I think that the live action segment was where all the budget went, because that set looks kind of cheesy, but it's also it looks kind of neat. I like the fact that it's like this big set and you have like these trap doors where like the puppets can stick their heads through, and Edison, who apparently has his own little world underneath that one part of the stage. Yeah.
No, what I mean is specifically to something again. 2 weeks in a row, I'm scarred for life. You know exactly what I'm talking about now. We'll get to it for the listeners, but seriously, they couldn't hire 72-year-old biddies or something? Like, I get it's supposed to be funny, but it's so obvious. It's just so obvious. It's just, ugh. So let's go ahead and get into it right after this.
Plumber's Log, number 442. The princess needed 100 gold coins by tomorrow morning, or else the Mushroom Kingdom Orphanage would have to close down. We were desperately thinking of some way to raise the money.
I could hawk my jewels.
You already hocked them.
I could mortgage this cottage.
You already did.
Well, you're all brilliant people. You you make a suggestion?
All right, first up today is Mario and the Beanstalk. Okay. Mario and Luigi are from the real world, or they're from America. They're from the realm that we currently live in today. Okay. Technically, I would say they are from 80s Brooklyn. Even I knew in 1988, 89, the story of Jack and the fucking Beanstalk. How in the hell, unless they... I get what the animators are trying to do. I get what the producers of the cartoons part of the show are trying to do. They're trying to throw these characters into classic stories. I don't like it.
Well, like we pointed out last time, it's like I think they were just strapped for ideas. They did like 56 episodes they had to do. They were just rushing through this, trying to go, okay, what kind of story can we throw them at here? And they just flipped open like a Mother Goose book and said, okay, here's one. Here's Jack and the Beanstalk. And actually, as far as I'm concerned, this is not a total stretch for Mario because the game, like I said last time, it's sort of based on Alice in Wonderland. It's sort of based on Journey to the West. So,
and I will agree that, let's face it, there are beanstalks in Mario 2.
Mm-hmm.
I guess when I think of it in that sense, that go ahead.
There are beanstalks in Mario 1 as well. There are vines all over the place.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Any thoughts on the overall plot of the episode you might have?
Not really, because it's basically the same as every other Jack and the Beanstalk adaptation I've ever seen. Like, if I wanted to see one, I would just watch Disney's Fun and Fancy Free, for crying out loud. It's longer, but it's better animated than this. And you know what? I gotta laugh because whoever designed Cooper for this episode, they were like, well, he's gotta look giant, so they just drew him fat.
Yeah, that's funny. All right, let's grab some fire flowers.
You first, Luigi. You first, Mario. You're older.
You guys, I'll go first.
All right, we've grabbed some fire flowers. The only thing I wrote down is Luigi is an acrobatic jumper. Why couldn't Luigi be this awesome in the game?
Instead of the game, he's got the floaty jump that's hard to control.
Yeah, the princess's jump is easier to control because she halfway flies.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This episode, no. That's the only thing I wrote down for Fire Flowers. You got any good points about this one?
Well, the only good points I'm going to have to pull from this is from the actual live action segments. Because if you look closely, there's a box of Nintendo's cereal system sitting on their kitchen table.
That's right.
And I love the jokes that they're starting to do in the window, the silhouettes that go by.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. But the actual cartoon itself, yeah.
See, I will say that we're going to break and put the auto and whatever else, but you always say to me, whether it's on Facebook or whether it's through Skype or whatever, yeah, Mario 3, I wish that never happened. I'm to the point now, we're only 12 episodes, after this podcast episode, we'll be 12 episodes into this series. I'm ready for Mario 3 because I enjoy that a heck of a lot more than I'm enjoying this cartoon. I get it was the late 80s, early 90s, but oh my god.
A lot of these, I have not seen them since the original airing. So this is like, oh. And this, I was like, I almost thought of this as like the good old days, and like Mario 3 and Mario World were the bad ones. And now I'm starting to rethink that. I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh man, yeah, I dare say this is slightly one step above Robin and the Dreamweavers at this point.
Ooh, you do not understand the pain that.
No, I understand. I heard the episode.
Oh.
Everybody go over to animationaficionados.com, search out Robin and the Dreamweavers, and listen to that. And pain. Lots and lots of pain.
It needs to be seen to be believed. Trust me.
Yes. All right, so we're going to go stomp on some Goombas.
I smell the brothers Mario.
It's King Koopa. He's turning himself into a giant.
We gotta get out of here.
So we are stomping on some Goombas. I already mentioned about 80s Brooklyn and why are they doing a recreation of Jack and the Beanstalk, and seriously, the golden coin goose. Really?
Yeah.
And of course, as soon as they chop the beanstalk down, the coins fall out, and yay, the mushroom orphanage is, say, convenient for the plot much.
See, I told you that orphanage would come back.
Oh, it comes back almost the entire series, and they even start a new orphanage, I believe, once we get to Mario World.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know. I know for a fact back in the 80s when I was growing up, I would watch America's Most Wanted. I would watch Unsolved Mysteries, and you would see all these cases of missing persons or missing kids. Don't get me wrong, I get the message they're doing here about the whole thing. Oh, people and children are missing. I get that. And I get that, people and children are, children, either don't have parents or, they're orphaned. And I get that, but do we have to consistently, does that have to be the crux of every single plot? Because I think I'm trying to think if in this podcast, will it come back again? I don't remember if it does or not. I don't know. What didn't you like about Mario and the Beanstalk?
Oh boy, where to start? The animation. I'm going to be beating a dead horse. Every episode's going to be like the animation. Let's see, the princess one time only being allergic to garbanzo beans, and I'm sure I'm going to see garbanzo beans or garbanzos coming up later in the series, and that affliction is going to be mysteriously vanished. And in fact, it vanishes in this same episode because she climbs the beanstalk and there's beans the whole way up, and she never sneezes again. And yep. I love the hurricane force sneeze that she does, or she sneezes and whoosh, the beans go out the window.
Yeah, her sneezing is a plot device. Yes.
And oh jeez, let's see, the goose, the oh I'm sorry, that goose, that voice. Yes. Oh my god, that was the pooping animation of the goose whenever she laid a golden egg. That was not appetizing.
No.
Oh man, this was just bad.
Yeah, this was a bad episode. I will say that if you want to see the comedy bits with the live action, watch it, but skip the cartoon. Unless you absolutely feel like you need to see Mario World characters or Mario Brothers characters in a Jack and the Beanstalk story, watch this. If not, skip it. The other thing is, there was no harp. Where the hell is the damn harp? Because that's the whole part of Jack and the Beanstalk. Jack goes up, he sees a harp, he sees a golden goose, and I forget, is there a third? I'm not even looking at Wikipedia for this at all. I'm just not. We're going to move on here in a minute, but wasn't there 3 things that Jack found?
I don't.
A harp, a golden goose, or golden lane. I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
But, obviously 11 minutes, they can only fit so much in, so we are going to move on to, by far, what might be the worst episode of the entire series.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Hey, I'd like to thank you. This song's just for you. Caught in the trap. with the snake in his yap because I forgot to use Drano. Hey, thank you all. I mean, oh, here, this is for you, darling. Thank you. You're beautiful. I mean, I love you all so much, and I'd like to dedicate and sing this next song to my lovely Mamma Mia, except I forgot the words, so I guess I think I'll just have dinner. Since my pampers left me, I found no shore to dwell. A septic tank in Brooklyn town. A plumber's hotel, you made me so lonely, baby.
Huh? Come on, Mario. Yo, what do you think of my Elvis impression, eh?
Besides for the fact that it stinks,
Oh, thank you very much.
it's an insult to the memory of the king.
Up next is Love 'Em and Leave 'Em.
I love the unintended connotation of that title.
Yeah. So, the live action bit, what was it?
Oh, you know what? I didn't even write down notes for that. I don't even remember. Must not have been very impressive.
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't remember what it was. Oh, crap. Oh, God. I gotta look it up because I honestly, I do not remember what it was at all, and it's gonna drive me nuts. And of course, I'm gonna have to edit half this clip, seeing as how I'm typing. List of episodes. Which Mario? Rare, rolling down the river.
Should do that.
Mario. All right. Love 'Em and Leave 'Em. Oh, I remember it now. Oh, God. Will the real Elvis please shut up?
Oh, God. Oh, this was. Oh.
The king is rolling over in his grave in the 80s. Just while preparing for an Elvis lookalike contest, Mario and Luigi get a visit from the real Elvis, played by Fred Travalena.
Yeah.
Never heard of this guy.
And Luigi is young Elvis, and Mario is old Elvis.
Old Elvis, yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry, no. No. Just no. As far as Love 'Em and Leave 'Em, the animated part, when Mario and company are imprisoned by the obnoxious Queen Rotunda, after eating Mario's spicy ice cream, the Queen accidentally drinks a love potion that makes her fall in love with Mario. Featured song. Of course, it's not in the DVD set. Power of Love by Huey Lewis in the news. Okay. Yeah, that's going to go into some fire flowers right there. But this is basically, you said it last week, you said it earlier in this episode. This episode right now is their version of Alice in Wonderland. Because the Queen, Rotunda, she says, off with his head.
Yeah. And
let's go ahead. No, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Well, I'm going to start ripping into this episode already just because it starts with them picking Red Hot Chili Peppers from alleged quote-unquote wild Red Hot Chili Peppers that are clearly in some sort of garden.
Yeah.
And Queen Rotunda, she's not rotund. She's solidly built. She's built like a weightlifter. Yeah. But she's not rotund. Rotund means fat. Mario is rotund.
Yes.
Koopa's rotund. There's no Koopa in this episode.
Yeah, there's no Koopa in this episode at all. Yeah.
We get Bezos, which are the most annoying enemies featured in the cartoon, and Ostros. Those are the only villains from Super Mario 2 in this episode.
Well, the Ostros aren't the Shy Guys or some sort of Shy Guy knights? Yeah, there's some sort of Shy Guy, but dressed up as a knight riding the Ostros. at one point, because one of them says, "My queen, what about the prisoners?" And he comes up. He's not walking up to her. He's on an ostro.
Oh, I might have gotten them mixed up with the Bezos just because they're hard to tell apart in this episode.
I don't know. All as I know is it might be Bezos dressed up as knights.
Yeah.
To me, anything in this cartoon that has the white face mask with the rubber band, it's a shy guy.
Yeah.
I don't care what.
They're all sort of shy guys. I mean, in the instruction booklet, the shy guys, the Sniffets, the Bezos, and the Tweeters, they were called the 8-bits because there's like all the variations of them. It comes out to 8 different characters, so 8 bits. Haha.
Yeah. All right, let's see if we can pick any kind of fire flowers for this episode.
What's that, Beep? It's my red hot pepper detector, and it's going off scale. Hot peppers, ahoy!
All right. The only thing I wrote down, I thought it was funny, was like Mario resisting. No, I don't want to be trapped in marriage. No, marriage is evil. Marriage is an institution. No.
Oh, hi, Peach.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and that's kind of funny coming from Mario because he's got at least 3 girlfriends. He's got Peach, he's got Pauline, he's got
Daisy.
Yeah, well, on off days he's got Daisy, and he's also got a Rosalind from the new game. And
yeah.
Daisy is sort of Luigi's unofficial girlfriend, but yeah, sometimes Mario gets her. But it's like in this one, well, obviously because Rotunda's ugly, so he doesn't want anything to do with that. And yeah, the whole thing revolves around the love potion and the way when we do the stuff we hate, we'll get to that, the ending.
Yes. Yeah. Was there anything at all?
It ended.
All right, let's go stomp on the Goombas.
Don't forget the prisoners, your hugeness.
Oh, yes, them. Off with our heads.
All right. Hope you like us stepping on you, Goombas. All right, I only have 3 notes here, so I'm going to go ahead and go first because I know you probably have a long list. They are really stealing the Alice in Wonderland footprint here. Queen Rotunda needs to go the hell away. Okay. For those of you at home, this is an explicit podcast, but if you want to fast forward a couple of minutes for what I'm about to say, please go ahead and do so. I'm a boob guy, okay? But I'm sorry. Queen Rotunda's cleavage should have never been shown in this cartoon ever. Oh my god, that was such yuck. That was like worse than seeing any of the horrid internet memes that are out there. Oh my god. Take it away.
Let's see. There was the ending where the
two of them fall in love.
Yeah,
the prince.
Yeah, the prince and Queen Rotunda fall in love. But the sorceress who made the love potion in the first place. See, the love potion falls in the punch, and she goes to take a drink from the punch, and of course she sees Luigi, and she immediately falls in love, and of course Luigi and everyone was like, "Oh, let's get out of here," and then it ends, and that. Oh, what else? God, I think I pretty much blasted this whole thing already. The fact that Queen Rotunda is not in fact rotund. Instead she's got a bust that is more like a man's chest that is not very womanly at all. There's the Bezos being the primary villain, Mario villain of the cartoon, which is, like I said, they are the most annoying villains in this cartoon just because they're constantly buzzing and the voice actors are going bzzz, which they don't need to do. I wish they wouldn't do that. And the animation in particular in this episode, I saw at least a couple spots where Luigi was painted like Mario.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I must have missed it. Yeah.
Yeah, this was not such a good episode.
Yeah, no, this episode is just no. So let's go ahead and move on to the next episode, where we will have Excite Bikes.
I've been looking for you, Mushroom.
Youch! It's Fry Guy!
You owe me 60 gold coins. Pay up by sundown, or I'll turn you into fried fungus.
But Toad can't pay you. Koopa took all our money.
Then find a way to get some. Maybe you can win the prize money in the Great BMX Race.
Huh?
Up next is the Great BMX Race. Oh my god. Please make it stop. Okay, so the live action bit was Mamma Mia Mario. Mario and Luigi's mother comes to visit and proves to be a bossy annoyance from start to finish, giving them chore after chore and calling them lazy before they even do some chores. Eventually she leaves after getting a phone call, which in reality was Luigi tricking her, that she won the lottery, but the next visitor proves to be just as bad, Mario and Luigi's aunt, Luigina.
Like I said, this is now the second episode in the series. I think this is still the second week of the show, and they've gotten Danny Wells and Lou Albano in drag twice.
Well, this isn't this.
Wait, is it? No, it's the beginning of the third week.
Yeah.
Okay, but still, I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
And
that's really
Lou
ridiculous.
Albano in particular is just horrible dressed as a woman. I mean, I get it. It's funny. It looks like she has a hair lip because of how they have to hide the mustache. But it was just bad. I was having like Cesar Romero flashbacks because of
again.
Yeah, because of how they had to hide the mustache. Now it really didn't work. And
yeah. Yeah, the live, like I said before, I get they're trying to go for comedy here, but like I was saying in the intro to the podcast this week, where's the budget for this show? For the entire, not just live action, and where's the budget going? Because honestly, they couldn't have hired some 60 or 70-year-old woman who maybe slightly resembles the two of them, that isn't them in drag. You know what I mean? It's like, I just don't.
If I remember correctly, that was the guest for the week. There was no actual guest. It was just Mario and Luigi.
Mario, his mom, and Luigi and his aunt. Yes, there was no guest that week. All right. So let's see if we can find some fire flowers.
We might be able to squeeze out when this thing lets out its breath. It's worth a try.
Yeah, we got so distracted with Mario and Luigi and drag, we didn't even mention the plot of the animated part. Mario and Luigi enter a BMX race against Mouser Tricyclide. I'm sorry, Tricyclide and a Koopa Troopa, so that they can win the prize money. Featured song "Shut Down" by the Beach Boys, which obviously isn't in the show now. So this is basically your average bookie episode where the Fry Guy is the bookie. I like the Fry Guy. I thought he was kind of cool, but he's supposedly the bookie, and really it's just a trap to get them into the race and to destroy them.
Yeah.
I didn't start liking stuff until the end. Like, most of my Goomba notes are about majority of the beginning. The ending, though, a zucchini for your succotash.
Oh.
I liked when they throw in the vegetables, but I do love the ending. but Koopa was never in Super Mario Bros. 2 games, so it's weird for me to see them throwing veggies at him, because he was, like, I understand it. King Koopa is the main villain overall of the franchise. King Koopa is the one that most mainstream people would recognize, but it's just weird seeing the Super Mario 2 vegetables being thrown at King Koopa.
Well, like I pointed out last time, this version of Koopa, it's like Bowser and Wart did the fusion dance, and that's how they got this character. So that's their way of bridging the two games, is having him basically play the role of both characters. So he has Wart's crown, and Bowser doesn't wear a crown in the game. So that's kind of the hint that he's both characters.
Yeah. Did you have anything with this one that you liked?
The only thing that really immediately came to mind when I was watching this is that, you know, the other shows, they've been taking stuff from like fairy tales and other stories. This one, I'm like, oh, BMX race. Now they're stealing from Alex Kidd. But no, seriously, you know, every time I start to say something, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, this is supposed to be the positive area. So I keep stopping myself. I don't know what to say with this episode. It's so weird.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get to Stomping the Goombas then.
Attention, Team Koopa! When those pain in the drain plumbers reach Dead Man's Curve, nail them real nasty. Now I'll really pull a plug on those faucet freaks.
All right, let's stomp on some Goombas. What do you got?
Well, this was an episode where, well, actually all the episodes are like this, but the way it's written, it's like they didn't storyboard it or something. It's like there are things that happen in the cartoon that don't seem like it's that big of an issue when they actually animate it. Like there's this part where Mario and Luigi are going up a cliff for some reason, and the three villains are coming down the cliff, and it's like, oh no, they're gonna run us off the road, and they could easily have avoided it, but it's like, the animation does not convey the intensity of what they're trying to do. And then of course they fall off the cliff, and God, I don't remember if they hang on to something, but it's like, it's one of those where they fall forever, and then yeah, and then is this one of the episodes where Mario and Luigi do the patty cake thing? I vaguely remember them.
Probably.
Yeah, and I got to talk about that because it's obvious that Danny Wells and Lou Albano were not in the studio at the same time when they recorded that. And I say this because they're out of sync every single time they do it. Mm-hmm. And it's so... And on top of that, it's badly animated. It's not animated the way you do patty cake. So every time I see it, I just kind of groan.
Yeah. No more drags. Stop that. Stop it. Just stop. That was a live action note. The animation is just not just with the patty cake thing, but the animation itself. It seemed to me that all of the characters at one point or another in whatever scene it is, at some point in every scene, one of the characters does not look like the traditional animation model that the show has portrayed so far. I could have sworn I saw cardboard cutout lines around the princess at one point, around her hair, her body. Like, you know how they show, cut this line here to remove, you know what I mean? And they show the lines that you're supposed to take the scissors to. I swear, it looked like that a couple of times. The coloring. There's a point in the episode where they basically use lens flare. What is J.J. Abrams doing on a Mario cartoon?
Oh no!
But they use some sort of flare on the lens in the drawing or something with the lighting, because it's the regular color and then boom, it's all bright for about 2 seconds. It's not something that lasts so long, but I noticed it because it was just so jarring to me. The whole bookie thing needs his money angle, like the Fry guy with Toad, and come to find out at the end it was all a trick and trap, and worst animation plot ever.
And how does that even work? It's like, Toad runs into like a debt collector. He's like, "Oh, I owe money," and then later he finds out that it's a scam. And it's like, how would you not know that you owed money, or how would you not know that this thing was a scam? Does Toad actually have debts, or it's like something they didn't think. Well, nothing in this cartoon is thought out, but it's just like the thing that immediately entered my mind when he got taken in by a scam.
Yeah, it's just nuts. It is just nuts, honestly. I don't know. Let's go ahead and move on to the next episode.
Plumber's Log number 6294. We were just a pasta noodle away from escaping King Koopa's Space Troopers when we got nailed with a lucky shot.
Up next is Stars in Their Eyes, and Alligator Dundee is the live-action segment. I'm sorry. You mean to tell me that this show has no budget, that they couldn't get actual Crocodile Dundee, Paul Hogan to come on, and you had to get a look-alike and call him Alec? No.
Well, Paul Hogan might have been above their pay level. Was that after his career kind of took a nosedive, though? Let's see. There was
Stars in Their Eyes was 89, so...
One was Crocodile Dundee, too. 88. So he was on the downward slope of his big career. He really... Other than Crocodile Dundee 1 and 2 and that third sequel they did years later, what has he really done?
Yeah, but I mean, it still would have been kind of cool to... Yeah, the first movie came out in 86, and then the second movie... I don't know. I could have sworn it was... Yeah, it was somewhere around...
It was 1988.
Was it 88?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll believe you. In Los Angeles in 2000. Oh my God, I'm so glad I never saw that. But this was a year. Yeah, but even so, it was. I'm sorry, I liked Crocodile Dundee too. I thought it was cool. The first movie is still the best movie, obviously, but I still enjoyed it. And you would think if it's a year later that they could have still... Either way, that's what the live-action segment was. Alligator Dundee hunts for an alligator that's stuck in Mario's basement.
Which turns out to be the Radigator, which is a puppet.
Yeah. And then for the animation segment of it, Stars in Their Eyes, Mario's group must free the natives of the planet Quark from being Koopa's slaves. Featured song Chains by the Beatles. Oh my... How did Deke get rights to a Beatles song? Wow.
I don't know.
I don't know. Alright. First thing I thought of when I saw, Space Adventure. Wait a second. It would be years before Mario Galaxy. Why is this... I don't remember a space level in Mario 2.
I'm going to put on my nerd hat here. There was a space level in Super Mario Land 2 on the Game Boy, but that was years after this.
Right, yeah. I remember the space level in Mario Land 2, but as we've stated before and as it's known, this show is based off of Super Mario 1 and Super Mario 2. And yeah. This is another one of those episodes that just, it took me out of it. It just, I get it, they're going for the whole spacey thing and whatever else, but I don't know. Any thoughts on this plot for the episode?
Just that they worked in the Communist Manifesto at one point. Mario gets up and he's like, unite, workers unite, Quarks unite, you have nothing to lose but your chains, or something like that, which is like right out of the Communist Manifesto. I'm like, wow, Mario.
Mario, really?
Wow.
Yeah, these things are called quirks. I know this is probably going to be blasphemy, especially to those of you who are classic gamers like I am and like Neil is. I kept wanting to call them Cuberts throughout the whole fucking thing.
They kind of are.
I know. All right, let's see if we can locate some fire flowers to defeat Moon Man Koopa. Moon Man Koopa, oh my god.
Leaping lasagna. This old tub is gonna sink. Don't panic. I'll plug the leak in 2 shakes of a calamari's tail. And for free. Don't get carried away, Luigi.
Fire flowers. All right, fire flowers. I only have one thing written down here, and I'm sure you had it written down too, because it's honestly the only good thing about this show, and it was strange to hear it. But, so wait, the Quarks or Cuberts or whatever, their trumpets play the Zelda theme.
Oh, yes.
Because I had to rewind. Yes, kids, rewind is an actual word. I had to rewind the DVD and make sure. I was like, I know that tune. What is? Ah, cross promotion. Dun dun dun. No, I thought that was awesome. And is it just me or the Quirks? Those are the not technically, but to me they are what Toy Story ripped off with the green men from the claw machine.
Oh wow, they kind of did.
Yeah.
But you know what? They also kind of remind me of the honkers from Sesame Street, even though they're not furred, but still, they have the 2 horns sticking out of their heads.
Did you like anything about this one?
I thought it was interesting that the Zelda theme was in there. It didn't seem to serve any purpose. It was just kind of there.
Wasn't it to drive Koopa's ship off course or something or other?
Well, yeah, it was there for that, but I'm thinking, why the Zelda theme?
Yeah.
I mean, there had to be like other themes that a Metroid, something out of Metroid probably would have been more appropriate just because it's in space, and that could have been a good nerd moment for anyone paying attention. But I don't know why they used the Zelda theme.
I don't know either. I don't know. All right, let's go stomp on some Goombas.
Koopas, Stoopa Troopers.
Now all we've got to worry about is... and his magnetic personality. Mamma mia! We've been nailed by the tools in our pockets. Gut-wrenching, isn't it?
All right, it's Goomba stomping time. I kind of already said this already, but really, Mario in space, that didn't happen until Super Mario Galaxy.
Yeah. I don't even. Again, I'm kind of at a loss for words. I mean, there was the whole issue with the gravity, and they had to take out the tools from the tool chest and shove them down their pants so they wouldn't float away. And then later, it didn't seem to be a problem at all. It certainly was never a problem for Koopa or anyone else. No. And it was kind of like a weird thing to throw in there because it never came up in the story again. It wasn't like a plot point or anything. Oh, at the end they're jettisoning some weight, so because they would never make it to Cybertron. And the last thing they threw out was like Mario's pasta or something, and it was like, no, not the pasta. Like the pasta weighed that much that throwing it out would help them speed up. And of course they throw it out and it gets caught in Koopa's ship somehow, and it screws him up, and it enables Mario and company to get away. It's one of those things that you could write on paper, but once you go to animate it, once you go to storyboard it even, it's like, what are we even doing? And for some reason they went all the way and animated it. Such a... These stories are just, aside from the fact that they're based on like other properties, they're just weird.
Yeah, it's kind of like Weird Tales with Mario. I don't know. Let's go ahead and move on to the next episode.
Whoa!
This certificate does hereby entitle Luigi Mario to a free dance lesson from Shabba-Doo. Happy birthday, Love Mario.
Up next is Jungle Fever is the animated title, and Dance is the live action title.
Oh.
For the for the animated version. While venturing through the Amazon jungle to find a witch doctor, Mario, Luigi, and Toad are hit with itching powder. Featured song is Jungle Love by Morris Day and the Motherfucking Time. Quote Jay from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Alright, live action segment. A birthday present from Mario. Luigi gets a free dance lesson from Shabba-Doo. Where's Scrappy when you really need him?
This is great because I'm sure that very few people listening to this know who Shabba-Doo is. I barely know who he is. But he's one of the stars from the very, very infamous film Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo. And they even mention it in the episode. They're like, oh, Shabba-Doo, you made those movies, Breakin' 1 and Breakin' 2. I'm like, oh my God. These movies that are notorious for being like offensively stupid, and no one in their right mind should ever watch them. And it was it was hilarious. And then
he was in Tango and Cash. I'm sorry to cut you off.
That's okay.
I did pull a Ben there. He was in Tango and Cash, and then the only thing, according to Wikipedia, and again it's Wikipedia, I know, but according to them, the last thing he's got on his filmography from Wikipedia, 2005, Breakin' versus Crumpin'.
Oh my God! There's a third one. Yeah, but anyone out there, I'm sure you've heard the joke. Any ridiculous sequel that you could make is, something part 2 Electric Boogaloo. This is where that comes from.
Yeah.
But anyway, the cartoon itself, the Jungle Fever. Like, I saw the title Jungle Fever and I immediately kind of did a little twitch. I'm like, oh man, I hope they're not gonna do anything too offensive. It's funny how you look back at things from like a 21st century perspective and you realize how things of this nature are suddenly so much more offensive than they were in the 80s. It's kind of like the Storm Shadow thing, or even the Native American character from G.I. Joe, how back then it was kind of cool to portray a Native American that way, and nowadays you kind of cringe. And it's the same thing with this. You have like witch doctors. You have Koopa with like a ring in his nose, and I'm like, ugh.
Bully for Koopa.
And then you meet the witch doctor. He's a white guy. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. No, I thought it was fun. Now, all right. I said this to you on Skype. Everybody, okay, don't get me. All right. Well, I can look back on 1993. And Super Mario Brothers the movie, and I get it. It's not accurate to any of the games. It basically picks stuff out and mashes it together. I get it that a lot of people don't like the movie. I myself am one of those people that if I see something I like, I will forever enjoy it. And Mario Brothers the movie is one of the things I enjoy. One of the nitpicks everyone has, but one of the moments that everyone has that they say makes the movie suck is, what's your name, Mario? What's your last name, Mario? What's your name, Luigi? Last name, Mario. So Mario, and Luigi Mario. Everyone can stop right now, think of that scene in the film, come back to this episode of Super Show, because dancing is where Luigi Mario came. The Super Show essentially brought forth Mario, and Luigi Mario, because on the certificate it says, I'm gonna have to go back and screen cap it and see if it actually says Luigi Mario on the certificate, but Luigi says this certificate entitles Luigi Mario to one dance lesson with Shabba-Doo. He says his last name is Luigi Mario. So It's all the Super Show's fault, people. It's not just the movie.
And then we wonder why Nintendo doesn't license Mario out much anymore.
Let's get to the fire flowers.
We were hacking our way through the Amazon jungle, searching for Sheldon, the mysterious witch doctor. Let's take a lunch break.
Oh, Mario, you just ate 3 guavas, 4 breadfruit, and 2 bananas.
If food isn't pasta, it doesn't count.
What's so important we have to find this Sheldon guy anyway?
He's the best witch doctor there is, that's why.
So, fire flowers for Jungle Fever / Dancing. Dancing Marios, yay. I really do love the Albatos. I think they're really, really cool characters. I thought that was cool how Koopa was like, Albatos, attack them! And it's basically a squadron of birds.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. I do like how the princess attempts to snort up some hair. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. No. I do like the fact
that would
that
be the writers.
Attempt to be the hero / heroine of the picture where she's like, oh no, I have to save Mario and Luigi. I enjoy it. I think it's funny, but my question is, why couldn't they incorporate her hovering, floating, flying ability?
That's a good question.
I mean, would that have looked out of... I mean, would, dirty old men be trying to look up her dress or something? I don't know. What did you like about this one?
Well, it's better than some of the episodes we've been talking about earlier in this show, that's for sure. Let's see. Well, yeah, like you said, the princess was sort of the hero in this one, where she got to do the rescuing for once. And actually, the show is pretty proactive as far as Peach goes, or Princess Toadstool. I'm gonna make that mistake a lot.
It's okay.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, she got to be the hero here, and I'm pretty sure. I'm already ripping on it. I'm pretty sure she got hit with that itch bomb too, but for some reason it didn't affect her. I don't know, but
maybe it was a direction. You know how they have directional mines, like personnel mines. Like if you're facing it, you're screwed. If you're facing away from it, you're gonna be maybe slightly burnt.
Maybe.
It's kind of like, it's kind of like Ronald Quincy in Armageddon. Put a firecracker in your hand. With your hand open, it's going to burn your hand. Put a firecracker in your hand and you close your fist over it, your wife's going to be opening your ketchup bottles for the rest of your life.
Oh.
I don't know. But my point here is maybe I don't know. Maybe there wasn't any wind to blow it back on, or I don't know. But the itching powder thing was a whole plot device.
Yeah.
It really, really was. It was a plot device so she could go and be the hero of the show, and that's fine. I didn't mind it. I thought that's why I wrote it down in the Firefly. I thought it was cool. I just had to make the drug references all.
I think that was the writers of this episode who were doing the drugs.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Probably. Anything else for good stuff?
I'm going to mark this as good / bad, just because it's one of those things that it's bad, but it's so ridiculous that it circles back around to good. The fact that this is yet another episode where it ends, the moral is that Mario is stuffing his face with food, and that solves everything. Because the ending is, how do we get them to stop itching? The witch doctor comes back with a plate of spaghetti, and the logic is they'll be too busy eating to notice the itching.
And that doesn't work. And on that note, let's go stomp some Goombas.
There's no warning sign, you faucet freak, because I stole it. Okay, Cooper Pack. Time to attack.
All right, we're stomping on some Goombas. Okay. Oh my god. What the hell? How is the Amazon jungle in the fucking Mushroom Kingdom? They specifically state that it is the Amazon jungle. If we are to believe the Mushroom Kingdom is a different dimension from Brooklyn, the planet Earth, the Milky Way fucking galaxy, how the fuck is, like, I understand it. It's convenient for the plot. It's so kids can know about the Amazon jungle itself. I'm sorry, but that makes no fucking sense whatsoever. And then the witch doctor makes a joke at the end of the episode about validated parking. In the fucking jungle, where's the parking spaces? How many mini malls are they gonna put in once they? Oh, God.
Yeah, I didn't get that joke unless it was, I don't know.
It's at the very end.
I know. I saw it. I just didn't get it. I'm like, what's the validated parking? I'm thinking maybe it was a Jew joke. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. You know how those jokes are. It's like the joke is money.
Yeah, that's the joke. So, what didn't you like about this one?
The animation. It wasn't as. See, I already ripped on it. Now I'm not sure what to say now. It wasn't as bad as the other episodes, but this is the part where I'm supposed to be ripping on it. Let's see. Just overall weird story. Again, obviously stuff was written before it was actually storyboarded out, because there was a whole thing where the 4 characters get hit with an itching bomb and only 3 of them are affected. It's obviously like a storyboarding glitch, and
yeah.
It's, you know what, this is the one I saw this today, and for some reason I'm blanking on it already. There's nothing about it that was just so atrociously bad that it offended me. It's just the usual notes. It's the animation that's kind of wonky, and a couple of story points that are kind of weird, but otherwise nothing really to scream about.
Is it this one, or is it the next? No, it's the next one. Yeah, it's the next one. Okay, we'll get to that. No, it's the last episode of the day. Yeah.
Oh, one last thing. I do have a note here. I began noticing that the princess has this gasp, and it's in like every other episode. She goes, but it's obviously the same recording every single time. And I noticed it this time for sure. I'm like, yeah, that's the exact same recording. And in fact, on the Zelda preview that's in this exact same episode, there's a point where Zelda does it. It's the same recording. And I'm like, oh my God, was it too much to have them record the gasps like in the recording studio as they're recording each individual episode? They just go, okay, record this reaction once, and we'll paste it in the episode wherever it fits.
Yeah, I don't know.
You will begin to notice it.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the final episode of the day.
Plumber's Log, 221, the Snow World. We were blue from the cold and pale from hunger. Koopa Khan and his horde had been after us for days.
Whoa, Mamma mia! I'm being totally blown away!
Alright, last up today, Brooklyn Bound! Really? In the live action segment, do we need another brain swap thing? Seriously? Come on, writers. Really? And the live action segment is entitled Shares Poochie. I'll get to that a little bit later. Or do I have it early in my notes or later? Okay, no. It's here in the beginning. whoever Pam Matheson is, some actress, I don't know, is playing Cher. Worst Cher impersonator ever.
Mm-hmm.
So horrid. Cher asks Mario and Luigi to babysit her pooch, and I didn't even notice how it happened, but somehow Mario's brain and the pooch's brain get swapped.
Basically, they got electrocuted, and
yeah, because of the computer thing that was in there.
Yeah,
the computer thing Mario was messing around. Yeah, ugh. But do we really need, like, this just happened with the Frankenstein thing last week when we talked about that, and yeah, no. The animated segment. Mario and Luigi meet up with another lost plumber from Brooklyn who offers them the chance to return home. Featured song is Kenny Loggins' Danger Zone. Damn, I wish this was on the DVD. That would be so cool.
Actually, no, you don't, because I know for certain that they did not use the original recording. So it's not like you'd watch the episode and it'd be literally Kenny Loggins. They re-recorded every single song. And they're bad. That's why I counted it as a plus that those songs are gone.
Yeah. Okay, this plot. I like the fact that the princess basically, because we don't know, just by the intro alone, it says one day they were trying to fix a drain. They found a warp, fell down the bathtub drain, ended up in the Mushroom Kingdom. We don't actually know how long animated Mario and Luigi have been in the Mushroom Kingdom. The Lost Plumber says that he had been trapped there for 13 years. But we don't actually know how long they've been, obviously less time than him, but we don't know if it's 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever, because the princess says, you've helped me for all this time. I want you to go home. I want you to be able to go home. And I like that part of the plot. I think that's cool and interesting, but obviously, you got to return it to the status quo. But any thoughts on the overall plot for either the animated or the live action?
Well, it's original. That's for sure. I didn't detect any sort of derivative storytelling going on here. I thought it was kind of neat that they had another character that was from Brooklyn. As soon as I said that, something came to mind that they could have ripped this off from, and I'm blanking on it. I know that there's something that's like this. Oh wait, you know what? And you'll know it just by looking at this character's hair. The Wizard of Oz. He's like, oh, god damn it, show. God damn it, Super Show. He's like the Wizard of Oz, going back to Kansas. Yeah. And he's even got the Frank what's his name hairdo. Oh man. I take back what I said. But it's more original than the typical episode.
It is definitely more original than Mario and the Beanstalk, more original than Great BMX Race. So we'll give it points for that. So, all right, let's go ahead and search out some fire flowers.
This map leads to a drain pipe that'll take me straight home to Brooklyn.
Brooklyn! Home sweet home. Oh boy, lead us to that drain pipe.
I can't lead you anywhere. Not until we get past that. Whoa!
I guess we stay in Mushroom Land.
You young kids give up too easy. If I had some help, I could finish piping in an underground river and use the force of its water to bust right through that wall.
You've got to help him so you can all get back to Brooklyn.
Why don't you and Toad come with us?
No, my people need me. But this is your big chance to go home, and I want you to take it.
All right, we're loaded up with fire flowers, and really the only note I wrote down is pretty much the note that I spoke about earlier with the plot, is that I like how interesting the story is as far as them possibly going home, but obviously at the last minute they have to go save the princess because there won't be the princess in another castle if they don't. But what I find interesting is it would have been interesting if we did see either an animated Brooklyn or an animated real world during this show. I know later we will see that with Mario 3 because there are several times where they go to the real, like there's one episode where they go to Venice. There's one episode where the princess goes to Maui and meets Milli Vanilli.
Oh.
These are just, a taste of things to come here in Pixels in the Animation, folks. You're going to hear Neil sighing a lot when we get to Mario 3. What did you like about this particular episode?
Better overall story for once. Koopa was playing Genghis Khan, I guess, because they're calling him Koopa Khan. I like the part in the episode where they're trapped on one side of a ravine and he's like, okay, you I guess there were Bezos. I don't remember. No, they were they Snippets? I can't tell.
Yeah, it was the Snippets. They were on the ostrich.
Like, look, you Snippets, we got to find a way across this ravine. Find a way to get across, and he kicks this like stalagmite. It's like a stalagmite and a stalactite kind of fused together, and it knocks it over, and it makes a bridge. And one of them goes, "I have an idea. Let's use the stone bridge."
Yeah,
he's like, "That was my idea."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that was a good comedy bit in the show. I like that.
All right, let's go ahead and get into Stompin' of the Goombas.
You really sucked it to those Snippets.
We're running out of time. Let's go find that drain pipe.
All right, time to stomp on the Goombas. That's molten lava. No shit, princess.
Is there any other kind of lava?
Okay. My biggest gripe with this episode, even though I really enjoy it, have you ever watched something and one thing ruins the entire experience?
Yes.
I'm sure in Ben's case, it's the entirety of Spider-Man, the animated series from 1994. Okay. They all do this, like, the whole chasm scene when Koopa destroys the bridge. And they end up on the right side where they want to go, but they need to climb up the chasm. So they're climbing, they form this, like, basically,
a human chain.
A human chain. I was more so going for, oh god, what did Tony call it in Iron Man 3? Grab the monkey, save, well, whatever.
Oh, the barrel of monkeys.
Barrel of monkeys. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Basically, that's what this is. Human chain, barrel of monkeys, whatever you want to call it. But I thought they were going to do something different with this. I thought they were going to, like, swing and have each of the characters jump off and land on the safe ledge. But no, Mario has to pull them all up and at the same time reach a fire flower. And once he eventually, after some dramatic pauses and Koopa threats, he reaches the fire flower, he's then like, okay, everybody, flap, flap, flap my arms, do the Mario, flap, flap, flap my arms, do the Mario, let's fly to safety. Like, how does a fire flower give you flight ability? It doesn't. Do the people that are writing these cartoons, the cartoons specifically, did they not play the fucking video games?
No, they didn't.
Apparently not, because I just, ugh. Alright, so there's that. All that traffic and stuff. So you're telling me you have a chance to go home, and the one thing that stops you from doing it is facing Brooklyn, New York traffic? Really?
Is that what they said?
Yeah.
Part of it was that they looked outside the window before they were going to go, and the princess was getting captured.
No. This is before that. This is when they were arguing about whether they should go.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And she was like, no, you need to go. You've helped me enough. Blah, 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 blah. This is like right before. And then Mario and Luigi are like, well, Luigi, do we really want to face all that Brooklyn traffic? And I'm thinking, really? That's a deterrent for you to someplace where, as I said before, we don't know how long they've been in the Mushroom Kingdom. Say it's been 5 years, say it's been 10 years, whatever. If they've been gone from home that long, seriously, traffic is what's going to stop you from going to your fucking home? Really?
Well, I think it was kind of a joke, and I think it was also that they were feeling kind of guilty for leaving, and they were kind of coming up with whatever excuse they could to say, oh, maybe we shouldn't go.
No, I get it. I get that, and that's fine, but it just rubbed me the wrong way. The traffic, Brooklyn traffic was the reason why they weren't going to go and they were going to stay and defend the princess. So it takes pasta power to turn valves now, apparently, too. Yeah, that's... No. What hard stuff did you find in this one?
Oh, I think it's all going to center on the flapping of the arms.
Nah.
Apparently, like I said last time, the power-ups are treated as though they're the same. The star and the fire flower, they're basically treated like it's the same power-up in the show, and they just call it Super Mario. So I guess because he's Super Mario and Superman can fly, therefore Super Mario can fly. And I'm guessing that was the logic. But unfortunately, just a few months down the pipe is the release of Super Mario 3, where we find out how Mario actually flies, and it's with a raccoon tail.
With raccoon power, yeah. Well,
which also doesn't make sense, but still.
Yeah. It was a new power. It was a new way to kill Goombas and kill Koopa Troopas in the game, and I'm all right. What really doesn't make sense out of that game is how the Tanuki suit version of the raccoon powers down and B, and you turn to stone for a couple of seconds. Really, that's one way to get invulnerable in the game for like 2 seconds. That is what doesn't make any sense out of that game.
That is a whole thing that I don't even want to get into because it's just like
we will eventually.
Yeah, when we get to Mario 3, maybe, because it's like the Tanuki. See, like foxes and raccoons are treated like they're magical creatures in Japan or something, and it's this whole mythology around them that we just don't have any context for in the West. So it's like it's just very bizarre. Yeah. So I didn't get it either when I was a kid, and then later when I realized how common that was in video games, like if you've ever played Pocky and Rocky on the Super Nintendo, they do that in that game too. But anyway.
Wow. Yeah. No, if it's Super Mario and it's meant to be a combination of Mario and Superman and he was supposed to fly, I would have believed it more if instead of flapping his arms like a fucking bird, he just stuck his arms down and just pushed off. Like actually flying like a way Superman will fly instead of flapping it. That's the only thing that really bugs me about this is that he's flapping his arms to fly. Dude doesn't have wings.
Or if it just made him more powerful in the moment where he could have like used his added strength to swing everyone up onto the ledge.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. All right, so that's it for this episode. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and we're going to rate all of these episodes. Oh, crap. Enjoy these ads and whatever else I decide to put in here after this.
Like animation? Come listen to Animation Aficionados.
And if you disagree with us, you could be a guest on a future show.
Available on iTunes, the Zune Market, and animationaficionados.com.
The Pull Bag is the GCRN's place for everything you need in the comic book world. We focus on new and current comics, while also tackling a few back issues here and there. So join the entire GCRN crew and see what issues the hosts have with today's panels. You can find the Pull Bag on iTunes and geekcastradio.com. Make your great escape into comics.
All right, we are back. And before we give our final thoughts on these episodes, what are you going to rate? Let's see. the Mario and the Beanstalk / Bats in the Basement.
I'll give it a 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 2-star, man, as well. It's kind of, it's not like the worst, but it's not. A 2 is kind of, it's not necessarily in the middle of a 5 scale, but it's, even though I had a bunch of horrible things to say about it, it's not the worst episode of the day. Love 'em and leave 'em.
0.
Yeah. Yeah, love 'em and leave 'em / will the real Elvis please shut up gets no stars. 0. Absolute 0. Alright. The Great BMX Race / Mamma Mia Mario.
1, I suppose. Even though it probably should get a 0. You know, I'm gonna amend that and say 0 because of the Mamma Mia part.
Yeah, I cannot support Captain Lou and Danny Wells in drag.
And their Sunday
0.
best.
Yeah, no, 0. Stars in Their Eyes / Alligator Dundee.
I'll give this one a 1.
I give it a 2. I would give it higher simply for what the Quirks do with their musical instruments and with the Zelda theme. But yeah, I'll give it 2-star, man. All right, Jungle Fever / Dance.
Oh boy, I'll give this one a 2. It's probably the best episode of the bunch on this episode, and just because it made me laugh when Shabba Do showed up.
Yeah. If it wasn't for the fact that the Super Show created Mario, Luigi Mario, this would have gotten a 2, but I'm going to give it a 1. I cannot believe that the Super Show is what actually really created that for the movie. Oh my god. Brooklyn Bound / Cher's Poochie.
Ooh. Oh man. I'll give this one a 2. The cartoon in it was pretty good, but it got taken down quite a bit by the live action segment. This is about where I'm starting to feel sorry for Captain Lou. He's probably, as he's on all fours barking like a dog, he's probably thinking to himself, I should renegotiate with McMahon.
I'm actually going to give Brooklyn Bound a 4. Outside of the flying thing, that's the only reason why it takes a point off for me. Like, the flying thing is really something that just irks me to death, but it doesn't ruin my enjoyment of the animated segment. The live action segment, 0. Just absolute friggin' 0 for the live action. Just no. So I guess if you really want to boil it down, final rating for this overall would be a 3. Because 3-star, man, because I really did enjoy Brooklyn Bound. I thought it would have been cool to see what would happen if they would have gone back to Brooklyn. And as I stated earlier, we will see that eventually when King Koopa returns with his Koopa kids. I can just hear, even though he's not saying it, I can just see Neil cringing.
Because I know what's coming.
Yeah. Overall, this batch of episodes is pretty bad. I would say Brooklyn Bound and Jungle Fever are the best 2 out of the 6. What are your final thoughts on this group?
Yeah, that's about what I think, is that the last 2 episodes were the best and everything else can go down the drain.
Yes. So thank you for joining us here on Pixels in the Animation. There are several ways to get in contact with us or leave feedback for the show. Visit the website, geekcastradio.com. You can also find Neil over on animationaficionados.com, where they do a weekly podcast, roundtable discussions on all kinds of animation, anime, and all that other stuff. What is your comic site?
NoSuperpants.com.
All right. Email us, feedback at geekcastradio.com. Leave the show's feedback in iTunes, please do this. Follow us on Twitter, at GeekCastRadio is the network Twitter. Mine is TFJ and Mike. What is your Twitter?
Neil Sama.
And on Facebook, go to facebook.com/GeekCastRadio Network. You can also search out Animation Aficionados on Facebook and check out their fan page over there. What is your... You have a...
My video game one. It's Neil's Classic Gaming. Does
not your video game one, and don't you also have one for your comic too?
Yeah. The comic one is DeCianComic.com. I always pimp out No Super Pants because it's easier to spell.
Yeah.
Yeah. The video game one is just called Neil's Classic Gaming. It does not have a proper URL yet because I can't give it one until I get more followers. So just search it and you'll find it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. You can call the voicemail line, tell us what you're leaving the message for, and your name. 502-526-5821. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Pixels in the Animation. I wish you'll join us next time when we'll be reviewing 4 more episodes from the Super Mario Bros. Super Show, those being Toad Warriors, The Fire of Hercules,
because I just watched that episode today.
Oh boy.
Yeah, wait till you see it.
Stop it. Count Cupula and Pirates of Koopa. Oh my god. For now, Vampire Pirate Koopa. Ow. Just thinking about that hurts my brain. Okay, for now, I am TFG and Michael with
TV's Mr. Neil.
Stay pixelated, everybody.
I'm pixelated.
Do the Mario, swing your arms from side to side. Come on, it's time to go. Do the Mario, take one step. And then again, let's do the Mario all together now. You got it. It's the Mario. Do the Mario, swing your arms from side to side. Come on, it's time to go. Do the Mario, take one step. And then again, let's do the Mario all together now. Come on now, just like that.